Hello, do come in. Hi, come over to where the bookstand is. So, you've come on one of the great days of the year. This is Maundy Thursday in Holy Week, and of course Maundy Thursday is when one thinks of the extraordinary stories of the Last Supper and both how Jesus washed the feet of the disciples and how he began the great mystery and sacrament of communion. And it's so sad, normally we'd be in church and we would see the candles burning on the altar and take a beautiful vessel of water, and one of us, Maggie or I, would kneel at the feet of the others there and wash their feet, and then we'd celebrate communion on the very night that it was instituted, and we can't do any of that. But I've been looking instead, there's so many. Do come forward and have a little look at this. This is a book, it's called The Cambridge Illuminations, and of course the Cambridge colleges are full of the most wonderful illuminated medieval books, illuminated Bibles and breviaries and prayer books and so on. And one time in the Fitzwilliam Museum they gathered them all together, and there was a great exhibition of them, and this is the book of that exhibition. But I've opened it here. This is a mid-12th century manuscript, which, as it happens, it belongs to my own college, or the college I came up to as a scholar in the 70s, Pembroke College, and it was lent to the thing and it's just lovely because it's quite sort of naive drawings away. It's not hugely covered in gold, but I love it. I love the expressions. So you see here all the events of Maundy Thursday. So there's Jesus blessing the bread and the wine, and there's the beloved disciple lying with his head on Jesus' breast, and there's Judas, of course, receiving the sop of bread. And here below is Jesus showing the full extent of his love, as the gospel says, where he laid aside his garment and he took the bowl of water and he washed the disciples' feet. And there's Peter, you can see having his feet, he's gesturing towards his head, not my hands and feet only, but my head also. This wonderful being made clean, and all of that beauty. And then, of course, the bottom panel shows you the moment of betrayal, and there's Judas betraying Christ with a kiss. Of course, as undergraduates, we didn't get to see all the amazing treasures in the library. I saw many beautiful books, but I didn't see this manuscript in Pembroke itself until I saw it at this exhibition. But I was very glad to have the book of it. So this manuscript was already 200 years old when the college was founded in 1347. So anyway, I thought I'd show you that. But I also thought I'd maybe read you a couple of poems, an older one and a very new one. The new one is actually being published today in the Church Times, and I would have read it to you from the Church Times, but copy hasn't arrived yet. But come and have a seat, and I'll read you these two poems, which are both about Maundy Thursday, both of mine. So, the sonnet for Maundy Thursday, which I wrote when I was the associate vicar chaplain, it was called, of a church called St Edward's in Cambridge, and we used to read it at our Maundy Thursday services because that's very much the setting. It's about the making of this new mandatum, the new commandment of love, and it's sealed in his blood, and he offers himself in the sacrament. And it occurred to me in one of those services, as we on the one hand lit the candles and on the other poured out the water, and then took the bread and a wine which earth has given as human hands have made, and of course the beautiful words of the gospel floated across the air, that all the four traditional elements of earth and air and water and fire are all kind of involved in that mystery. So that was kind of the subject of this poem. And of course the astonishing sight of Jesus himself kneeling at the feet of the disciples to wash their feet. So here's my Maundy Thursday poem as it was published almost 10 years ago next year. Maundy Thursday. Here is the source of every sacrament, the all-transforming presence of the Lord, replenishing our every element, remaking us in his creative word. For here the earth herself gives bread and wine, the air delights to bear his Spirit's speech, the fire dances where the candles shine, the waters cleanse us with his gentle touch. And here he shows the full extent of love to us whose love is always incomplete. In vain we search the heavens high above. The God of love is kneeling at our feet. Though we betray him, though it is the night, he meets us here and loves us into light. So, as I say, I wrote that poem many years ago, and we've used it often at Maundy Thursday services. And then, of course, last Maundy Thursday, we were in really severe lockdown, you may remember. Nobody was going anywhere. I remember just for the 1 hour I was allowed to walking out into the part of the recreation centre here in Linton, and seeing that somebody had come and put padlocks on the children's playground. You know, you couldn't even go into those, and we certainly couldn't go into church. And I wrote a poem about that, and about how we would have to let Jesus, you know, in a new and deeper way come to visit us, as it were, invisibly in our homes. Anyway, I wrote it on that Maundy Thursday, so it was too late to do anything with it, or finished it early on Good Friday to do anything with it then, really. I put it on my blog, I think, so it's never been collected in any of my books yet. But it so happens the Church Times is coming out today on Maundy Thursday, and I have a column in that. So it's going to be actually in print for the first time today. But as the Church Times hasn't arrived, I'll just read you the manuscript. And although I wrote it for Maundy Thursday last year, unfortunately we're still in lockdown, so it kind of applies this year too. And I hope, you know, you get some hope out of it. It's just called Maundy Thursday, All the World is Still. So, Maundy Thursday, all the world is still. The plains wait, grounded by departure gates. The street is empty and the shopping mall deserted. Padlocked, the playground waits against the day that children play again. Till then our sad refrain is just refrain. Maundy Thursday, all the world is still, and Jesus is at supper with his friends, no longer in the upper room, that hall in Zion where the story starts and ends, for he descended from it long ago to find his new friends in the here and now. Maundy Thursday, all the world is still, and Jesus is at supper with his friends. Our doors are locked for fear, but he has skill in breaking barriers. With ease he bends our prison bars, slips past the sentry post, and joins us as the guest who is our host. Maundy Thursday, all the world is still, but in cramped quarters on the 15th floor, in lonely towers made of glass and steel, and in the fierce favelas of the poor, touching with wounded hands the wounds he tends, Christ Jesus is at supper with his friends. Well, I hope you have a good Maundy Thursday and Good Friday, and I hope you have a very joyful Easter when it comes. Thanks for dropping round at the beginning of this holy weekend.